Most people think the smartest way to handle a difficult person is to explain themselves better. They think if they find the right words, the other person will calm down, get reasonable, and meet them in the middle. What usually happens is the total opposite. The more you explain, the more material you give them to work with. Some people aren't looking for clarity, they're looking for control. I'm Chief. Welcome to Chief Logic. Today we're breaking down Law 44, a law about perception, restraint, and how to handle people who feed on your reaction. Law 44 says disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. This law sounds aggressive if you don't understand it. It's not about acting childish. It's about refusing to play the emotional game you're being invited into. The mirror is a strategy of reflection, not escalation. Here's the reality. A lot of people move through life by pulling reactions out of others. They provoke, interrupt, distort, and push just enough to get you off balance. Once you react, they gain information. They learn your triggers. They learn what pulls you into a fight. They learn what makes you over-explain, apologize, or get loud. And once they have that, they can steer you. The mirror effect is how to stop giving away control. You reflect their energy back without giving them a new target. You don't argue the bait. You don't chase their framing. You stay calm, precise, and predictable in your posture while they get forced to deal with themselves. The mechanism is psychological. A provocateur needs you to participate. Their power comes from you responding in a way that makes them central. If you mirror, you remove the reward. You don't give them emotional fuel. You don't give them chaos. You give them their own behavior, clean and visible. That disarms people because it blocks the usual path. They can't pull you into their rhythm because you won't sync up. They can't make you dance because you won't move to their music. It also infuriates certain people for the same reason. When someone expects a reaction and you deny it, you take away their sense of control. They can't feel powerful if they can't move you. Most people misunderstand mirroring. They think it means mocking. Mocking is loud and obvious, and it gives the other person a reason to play victim. This law is not telling you to imitate someone like a cartoon. It's telling you to reflect a pattern in a way that makes it undeniable. Sometimes the mirror is silence. Sometimes it's a calm repetition of their own words. Sometimes it's asking them to clarify their meaning without adding emotional content. Sometimes it's responding to their tone with a steady tone that makes their tone look extreme. The goal is not to win the argument. The goal is to control the frame. If you ignore Law 44, the consequence shows up fast. You get pulled into unnecessary conflict. You get dragged into long explanations that don't help you. You get baited into defending yourself against accusations that were never meant to be resolved. And once you're reactive, people start relating to you through that reaction. They learn how to get you to do what they want. They learn how to derail your focus. They learn how to make you look unstable while they look calm, even when they started to fire. This is especially dangerous in public settings. In a group, a provocateur doesn't need to defeat you. They just need to get you to look like the problem. If you react emotionally, the room remembers your reaction more than their provocation because reactions are louder than setups. That's why the mirror is power. It keeps you from becoming the headline in somebody else's story. Working the mirror also protects your energy. There are people who will keep you in a loop for hours if you let them. They will move the goalposts, deny what they said, and keep you defending yourself against new angles. The mirror breaks the loop because it refuses to chase. It forces accountability back onto them. Now, this gets clear in a real situation because mirroring is one of those laws that sounds abstract until you've watched it work. Imagine you're dealing with someone who constantly interrupts, talks over you, and then accuses you of being too sensitive. When you push back, if you meet them with emotion, they get what they want. They can frame you as unstable. They can tell the room you're the problem. The mirror effect in that moment is calm exposure. You stop and you say evenly, "You've interrupted me 3 times in the last minute. Do you want me to finish or do you want to take the floor?" Then you stop talking. That's a mirror. You didn't insult them. You didn't raise your voice. You made the pattern visible and you forced a choice. If they keep interrupting, the room sees it. If they back off, you regain space. Another example is with someone who twists your words. They paraphrase you in a way that makes you sound worse, then argue against their own version. If you chased every twist, you'll stay trapped. The mirror is to repeat their distortion back to them as a question, calm and precise. "That's not what I said." "Are you saying you heard me say X?" Then you stop. If they double down, they expose themselves. If they correct, you control the frame again. The shift here is that you're no longer debating content with someone who isn't debating in good faith. You're managing behavior. That's the real battleground. Control with Law 44 starts with your nervous system. If you can't hold your tone, you can't hold your power. Mirroring only works when you stay steady, because the steadiness is what makes the other person's behavior stand out. So you slow down, you speak less, you don't rush to fill silence. You don't rush to prove you're right. You make your responses smaller and more deliberate. Then you choose the right mirror. If the person is fishing for anger, your mirror is calm. If they're fishing for confusion, your mirror is clarity and repetition. If they're fishing for a long argument, your mirror is short, simple boundaries that don't invite debate. You also keep things on record when it matters. The mirror works best when people can see the pattern, including you. Sometimes that means you summarize decisions in writing. Sometimes it means you restate what was agreed to in the room. You're not being petty. You're removing the space where someone can rewrite reality later. There's a warning with this law. Don't mirror everyone. Some people are just having a bad day. Some people respond well to direct honesty. The mirror is for patterns, not for one-off moments. Use it when you're dealing with somebody whose behavior keeps repeating and whose main weapon is your reaction. And don't mirror to humiliate. Humiliation creates enemies. The point is to disarm. You make the pattern visible, you block the bait, and you protect your position. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect means this. When someone tries to control you by pulling a reaction out of you, you deny them the reaction and reflect the pattern back. You stay steady, you stay clear, you let their behavior carry the weight. When you stop feeding the game loses power. Stay sharp, stay grounded.